Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to today's episode. I'm Pete. I've been crashing, repairing, modifying and selling all sorts of vehicles over the past 20 years. All of the work I do myself in my humble little garage at the end of the driveway. There are no super expensive tools in my workshop, and sometimes a hammer and a grinder are pretty much my only friend. And before we look at the cost to repair the Fiat 500 and if we made any profit when we sold it on, I wanted to take a moment or two to give you a view of what's coming to the channel over the next few weeks. So let's get into it then. What is coming up on the channel over the next few weeks? The workshop needed some more space, too many projects, not enough space, you know how it goes, so I went ahead and built more space. Many attempts of painting the Fiat 500, as you saw in the previous video. I had to work out how to set up this paint gun properly. It's quite simple once you follow a few steps, and we'll have an episode to cover that. While sailing in the English Channel, no word of a lie, I bought this Cayman by accident, but when it came back to the workshop, unfortunately the damage was worse than I thought. And when this lawnmower ran out of life, it was reborn, and now it competes in the British Lawnmower Racing Association League, and at over 40 miles an hour on the dirt, it's an adrenaline rush for sure, so do subscribe and don't miss out this awesome series. We bought an Astra VXR with what was supposed to be roof damage, so tune in and see what it really looked like and how I came about trading that with an Audi TTS. And finally, and very much the thriller of the series, and once lockdown is over and done here in the UK, we are heading to the drag strip. 2006 Porsche 997 Carrera S meets the mighty 2019 Ford V8 Mustang. Who's going to win, and what mods are going to come to these daily drivers? In episode 1, you remember that I bought the 100 litre compressor with the 14.6 cubic feet per minute airflow. I took the extra steps of installing fixed airlines, valves and filters. You don't really have to do this. I'm setting up a workshop, of course, so I expect to do lots of projects, so I figured that the fixed lines would actually serve me better. Anyway, the compressor came in at £250 and the additional airlines, valves and filters at £135. One thing just to note about the filtration though, is that if you're paint spraying you need clean dry air, and if you're using air tools like the sander, you actually want air that's got a little bit of oil in it. So do think about what you're going to use your compressor for, and then do decide whether you need the filters that go with it. Then onto the spot welder then. So remember, this allowed me to pull the rear quarters panel out and along the bottom of the door sill or the door rail too. That came in at £135, great purchase from eBay. It's about £165 I see on Amazon today. Then I took a look for a paint gun, and I went for a cheaper option, £35 in this case, but it had the three main controls that I want. But I do cover this in more depth in another episode on the channel about setting up my paint gun. The hammer and dolly set, of course, we used that to reshape the front wing, saved us buying a new wing, which was great, and it came in at just £17. And then finally the dual action polisher. This was an interesting purchase because I wasn't really sure what I was going to use it for. I figured, kind of doing some detailing and those kinds of things, but actually I used it to great effect on the Fiat, because after the final coat of acrylic white paint went on, there was a little bit of orange peel, so once that had dried off, it was really easy to use this dual action polisher to remove that orange peel and leave the paint very flat and very shiny. All in all then, £701 in tools for the workshop. That's $840. It seems quite a lot to pay out before you start the job, so let's get down to it and see what did the car actually cost. So I bought this low mileage 2014 Fiat 500 from Copart, and that cost £1,687. That included all the fees, delivery to the workshop, taxes and all that kind of stuff. And then we went on to decide what parts we wanted, so we added the cost of those. The door, fortunately we got it in the right body colour, that was £125. Then the wing mirror cover came in a different colour, but that was okay, we could spray that. That was just £9. And then the side mouldings, those are the rubbing strips down the door and the rear quarter panel, they came in at £25. Again, they were a different colour, but it was okay to spray those up. Then we had to think about all of those things, the extra things that we need to buy. Paint and primer, for instance, that came in at £60. And then real sundries, tack cloths, masking tapes, fillers, sealers, sandpapers, Abranet, the PPE mask, all of the extra little bits and pieces that are not very expensive in isolation, but actually all added up to around about £100. So that's quite a lot of money. And then those extra touches that we wanted, the sat nav. Who doesn't want a car with sat nav these days, right? For just £87, eBay special. And then the floor mats. I think it's always good when you're selling a car on that it totally refreshes the inside of your interior. £25 and we're done. So the total cost then of this little Fiat 500 was £2,118. That's just over $2,500. Remember though, this doesn't include any of the labour costs. Okay then, so the total cost of the car repaired, as we've just seen, was £2,118. If we add that then to the workshop tools we discussed earlier, that's another £701. We advertised this on Auto Trader, we also put it on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, those sorts of things, but that came to a total of £69. So the car, all done and finished, owes the workshop £2,888 or $3,465. So then, we know it's sold. What did we sell it for? So we advertised it at £3,500, knowing that we wouldn't get that. Typically, a car of this registration with these miles will get about £4,000, but of course this has got a category title against it. So we actually achieved £3,200, which is a good fair price. That's just over $3,800. So that gave us a net profit, which is great, of £312 or $375. But of course, those labour hours, if you remember from episode 1, it took around about 40 hours. So overall, this project did stand on its own feet. It owes the shop nothing. It made a small profit, in fact, but not really enough to cover the kind of labour hours that we spent on it. However, if we remove those tools, because those tools actually will do other projects, then this project made a healthy profit and the labour hours actually would be worth the effort. So that's a Fiat 500 repaired and sold. We even managed to turn a small profit. In the next episode, we get into the teardown of that tired old lawnmower as it begins its journey to a fully fledged racing machine. And later in the series, we will see me actually race that once lockdown restrictions have been removed. Remember, if you like the content on my channel, please hit that subscribe button, and if you want to be alerted when new content goes live, hit the bell button to get that notification. Also, please leave comments below. What do you want to see on this channel? Is there something that I have covered that you want to see in more detail, for instance? But until next time, thanks for watching.